Have you ever been there? You're in a betting session, you're down, but then you get a small payout. And all of a sudden, it feels like the tide is turning. You're still in the red, but you don't feel like you're losing anymore. Well, we're going to break down exactly why that is, because that feeling, it's at the very core of how modern gambling is designed to keep you playing. And look, this isn't just some harmless mind game. For some people, like a man named Jack, this cycle of hope can become a dangerous trap. He got himself into a hole so deep that he truly believed the only way to get out was to win his way out. It's a belief that, for him, ended in truly devastating consequences. So that sense of relief you get, that feeling of momentum, it is not an accident. Not at all. It is a carefully, meticulously designed feature. You could call it an emotional hook, and it's there to make you feel rewarded, even when the cold, hard math tells a very, very different story. Okay, so there's actually a formal term for this. It's called a loss disguised as a win, or an LDW for short. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's any time the amount of money you get back is less than the amount you wagered. You've lost money on the play, but the game itself treats it like you just hit the jackpot. This right here shows you just how obvious the deception can be. This is an example from a real slot machine. The total bet is 75 credits. Then the machine flashes, the bells go off, and it proudly announces a win of 25 credits. But you just do the simple math. A 75 credit bet for a 25 credit payout means you lost 50 credits. The presentation is designed to completely steamroll the reality of the situation. And don't just take my word for it. This isn't some conspiracy theory. Industry insiders are really open about this. A game designer named Randy Adams basically said the entire point is to create the perception that you're constantly winning, even while your account balance is steadily going down. It's a fundamental piece of the design. So why does this work so incredibly well on us? It's because our brains are hardwired to respond to reward signals. The flashing lights, the celebratory music, the credits hitting your account, your brain registers all of that as, hey, something good just happened, long before the logical part of your brain has a chance to do the math and realize you actually lost. And the science on this is fascinating, as you can see from this chart. Researchers literally measured people's physiological arousal, their body's excitement level. And what they found is amazing. The physical reaction your body has to a disguised loss is almost identical to a real, actual win. Both of them are way, way more arousing than a quiet, straightforward loss. Your body literally feels like it won. What you end up with is this powerful disconnect in your mind. On one hand, you have the feeling. That disguised win feels like relief. It feels like momentum. You're thinking, okay, I'm back in it. Here we go. But on the other hand, you have the math. And the math is simple. It was a net loss. You're still behind, and the odds for your very next bet are exactly the same as they were before. So let's go one level deeper, right down to your brain chemistry. What's happening? Well, every single time you get one of these wins, whether it's real or disguised, your brain's reward center gets a little squirt of dopamine. The very system that evolved to reinforce positive, survival-based behaviors, it gets hijacked by these totally artificial signals. And here's the critical thing to understand today. This is not just about slot machines in a casino anymore. These exact same psychological mechanics are now built into every betting app on your phone. The casino is no longer a place you go to. It's something that's always on, always in your pocket, ready with those emotional hooks day or night. And you see this psychology playing out so clearly in modern sports betting, especially with a type of bet called a parlay. This quote from a bettor just nails the mindset. He's saying people will chase that huge, unlikely payout over and over again instead of just taking smaller, more consistent profits. They prefer the thrill of the long shot over the logic of a small, steady edge. Parlays are so tempting because, well, they function like a lottery ticket. The boring way to win is grinding it out with straight bets, finding small edges. It's slow, it takes discipline. The parlay, though, that offers the incredible fantasy of turning a few bucks into a life-changing score. It's not selling you a rational investment, it's selling you excitement. All of this combines to create this incredibly powerful reinforcement loop. It goes like this. You experience a loss, which feels bad. Then you get a small, disguised win. This brings a feeling of relief. And that relief, that's the reward. It's what encourages you to keep playing, which, of course, inevitably leads to more losses, and the cycle just starts all over again. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The reward you're getting isn't actually winning money. The psychological reward is the temporary interruption of the feeling of losing.
That brief moment of relief is just powerful enough to reset your emotions and keep you in the game, even while you're slowly sinking deeper. So, how do you break the cycle? How do you fight back? It starts with a simple moment of awareness. The next time you get any kind of payout, before you do anything else, just pause for 1 second and ask yourself this one simple question. Did I actually come out ahead on that play, or did it just feel like I won? That tiny pause can be enough to shatter the illusion.
Recognizing that difference, the difference between feeling rewarded and actually being profitable, that is everything. When you really understand the emotional games at play, you can start to take back control. Because when you control your emotions, you can start to control your outcomes. If you found this explainer helpful, please give it a like and maybe share it with someone you think might need to see it. And I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. For more insights to help you control your emotions to control your outcomes, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.